Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 18 of the Social Media Stewards under investigation after the podcast. Let's face it, there was a lot of investigations, but before we do get onto that, we are finally back for our Formula One. And oh man, that break felt so long.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
That was just unbearable. I wouldn't mind. It's not even like there was really any news. There was the odd bit here and there, but apart from that, it's been just radio silence of you can just wait a few weeks. And it
Mm.
felt so long. But to be fair, it didn't disappoint. We
No,
came back with a
no.
full sprint weekend as well.
But before we dive in, and this is an editorial problem, so apologies for watching. Could you tilt your camera down just a touch? But
I can, yes. Uh,
yeah,
is that better?
fantastic. I just looked over and like you were kind of hiding behind your name. Um,
Ah,
but anyway, we'll keep it in because we don't edit anything out.
very good. That's because somebody moved my camera yesterday. No comment. Um,
Might have been me.
It might have been you. Um, so yeah. Anyway, so we came back with a full sprint weekend, and let's face it, the whole talk leading up to this weekend was the weather. The
Yeah,
weather was going to be a major issue this weekend. Not only did they think it was going to be rain, but thunderstorms as well.
yeah.
So it was all down to planning. But luckily, none of that affected the sprint. Um, and a lot of upgrades came this weekend, an awful lot.
Yeah, and you could
Um,
tell by how it shook the field up.
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, Ferrari brought an awful lot of upgrades. It doesn't seem. I'm not sure whether Ferrari is still trying to get used to their upgrades or, still trying to get their head around them a little bit. But didn't seem as stable as they have been in previous races.
It felt like it's a hard one to measure because teams have brought upgrades and stuff, but it felt
Yeah,
to me almost like Ferrari had taken a slight step back.
that is exactly how I felt. Yeah,
Um, Now, obviously, the McLarens we will come to that. They kind of brought a whole load of upgrades and kind of thing, but the way Ferrari were talking, like leading up to it, is like, oh well, we're gonna have this change, that changed. We're gonna come in with more
yeah,
power. It's gonna be a different animal. Um,
yeah,
And in the first couple of races, we've seen like Charles and Lewis like right on each other, and those cars being very kind of comparable, and the performances from both of them like fighting wheel to wheel in all the other races. But they were so far apart from each other. Like Charles was obviously driving that car
yeah.
better than Lewis was this weekend, but like you
He
say, it
was.
didn't look like the Ferrari from the first three races.
No, it didn't. And I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about the difference between Leclerc and Hamilton this weekend. Hamilton has never seemed very at home at Miami.
Oh no,
It doesn't seem to be a track he gels with very well. So I'm not sure how much that's played a part in that. But yeah, McLaren brought an awful lot of upgrades. So did Red Bull, and that car seemed a lot more stable. It
mm,
seemed a lot more up to the road, if you like.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely
uh,
seems to be working its had.
yeah. The Red Bull, like Max was eking out everything from that from the get go.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a bit of a worry, I think, over Hajar.
Yeah,
Um, we know Max adapts very, very quickly,
he
but
does. Yeah,
Hajar seemed to really struggle to adapt to whatever they brought to the car. So, like, he was well over a second behind Max at one point.
he
Um,
was. Yeah,
I think it was in quali, and we'll come to what happened in the race with him, but it it's almost like I worry about it because of Red Bull of the past, and we know it's not the Red Bull of the past anymore. But
yes, yeah,
also,
I know what you mean.
it's the psychological impact of having Max Verstappen as your teammate who gets the upgrades and instantly clicks with it.
Yeah,
And he's a young lad, and he's got to give himself a little bit of leeway, a little bit of time. He's not going to click
yeah,
like Max. does to the car.
No,
But the
he
Red
can be
Bull
very
looked,
hard on himself.
yeah, but the
Yeah,
Red
as
Bull
as
looked
Jar. Yeah.
rapid. The Red Bull did look
Mm.
rapid in comparison to the first race, and more importantly, was looking after its tires all weekend.
Oh, well, the proof was in the pudding on that in the main race, but
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
yeah.
Um,
So we know
yeah,
it was
and
shredding its tires in the first couple of races.
the other side of that is as well, Max was a lot happier with the car.
Mm,
And I know that's not the be all and end all, but with the criticism he has been given, to hear him say some positives about the car, it clearly
yeah,
means something's
yeah,
changed. And it's, as he said, he's still not enjoying the regulation, but the car feels a lot better.
yeah,
So it's definitely made a move in the right
mm,
direction.
yeah,
Um, yeah, the only people that haven't yet, not haven't brought upgrades, but haven't brought as many is Mercedes. They've planned theirs for Canada.
yeah.
So how well that works,
Mm,
we're yet to find out. Not all upgrades are good, and we've seen that in the past. We've seen people change their car, and it's made them go backwards.
mm,
And that Mercedes is already a quick car. It just looks like the rest of the field have caught up, which is astonishing for this early in the season.
yeah. I think
You know,
I said to you the other day, didn't I? Like it looks like Mercedes have gone backwards, but I think they've just stayed still.
yes, exactly. Yeah,
As you say, everybody else has brought theirs, so it's going to be what they bring
yeah,
um, in their next round of upgrades. Are we going to see them
yes,
again catapult forward? But I tell you, who did surprise me all weekend?
yeah.
Well, two teams, but mainly Alpine.
Right, okay.
Absolutely solid all weekend.
Yeah,
If you look at the sprint quali, if you look at the sprint race,
yeah,
the race quali and the race, obviously gutted for Gasly in the race,
yeah.
but they were around like 8th, 9th, 10th all
Yeah,
weekend.
8th and 10th. Yeah, 8th
Mm,
and 10th. 8th and 10th in quali for the sprint, 8th and 10th in the sprint race,
mm,
and then yeah, 8th and ninth in
yeah,
qualifying for the main race. I mean, when was the last time we saw an Alpine getting into Q3
yeah. And then
and
Colapinto
finishing in
finishing
the top 10?
7th in the race.
Yeah, impressive,
That
impressive.
you've got Merc, you've got Ferrari, you've got McLaren, you've got Red Bull, and then you're usually looking for who's going to be that fifth team. Start of the season, it looked like it was going to be Haas the first three races.
Yeah,
Now it looks like Alpine have got it together. We could see an
I
Alpine
know.
Haas battle for that fifth place if Red Bull keep on this trajectory,
Oh yeah,
because we
yeah.
thought they might slip if they didn't. But
Oh yeah,
the
without a doubt.
Alpines, and hats off to Colapinto. I don't really rate him. I know he had an incident with Lewis in the race, which again, race will kind of building up to the race kind of thing. But
Yeah,
Colapinto had a fantastic weekend.
he did.
Um,
He did. Yeah,
eighth in the sprint quali, 10th in the sprint race. He was consistent, and Gasly as well.
yeah.
And I do rate Gasly.
Oh yeah.
Um, but them and Williams were the other team.
Yes, yes. They did. They did do a good weekend. Yeah,
Um, they've, I mean, Albon's sprint quali wasn't great, and neither was Carlos Sainz's. But when they got to the race, when they got to like the
yeah.
race quali and the race weekend, and the actual full race,
Oh
sorry,
yeah.
like yeah, both Williams finished top 10 in the race. So I
Yeah,
think it was a good weekend for both of those teams. But Alpine
it was. Yeah.
absolutely solid all weekend.
Do you know, I completely agree with you. Alpine was a great surprise for this weekend, and they did perform really well. The one I was not expecting this weekend was Lando Norris.
Mm.
Not because I don't rate Norris or anything, purely because of the issues McLaren have been having so far this season. I know they were bringing upgrades, but I thought, they would gain a bit of pace, but their reliability's been unbelievably bad this season. So I certainly wasn't expecting them to come out the gate, qualify P1 for the sprint, and then go on to win the sprint. I mean, I certainly wasn't expecting that. And the same as
Mm.
last year, that McLaren looked after its tyres very
Mm.
well
Yeah,
all weekend.
the thing that got me in the sprint with him is from the lights out, it didn't look in doubt.
No, no,
Once he was off
without
that
a doubt.
line, he was away, and he was nice and controlled the whole time. And even with
Yeah,
Oscar kind of tucked in behind, and
yeah.
I mean, Kimmy. I mean, what can we say about Kimmy's starts? Puts himself on the front row for the sprint,
I
gets
know.
swallowed up immediately. So Oscar was behind Lando for the rest of the race, but Oscar couldn't pull him in.
No.
Lando had a fantastic weekend, all in all.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think only maybe down to a strategic call in the pits that he lost out
Yeah.
in the
I
main race.
think with the McLaren though, I do think it's very much a little bit like it was last season. If it gets out front straight away, it's on.
Mm,
But if it's in that dirty air, it struggles.
yeah.
I think that's the McLaren's downfall. Whereas some of the cars seem to manage it quite well, like the Ferraris have been managing the dirty air very well. The McLarens they seem to fall off when they're in that dirty
Mm,
air. They seem to, struggle a lot to close that gap to the car in front.
yeah, you see
But
that with
getting out
Oscar.
ahead,
You can see that with Oscar
yeah,
trying to get Lando, and then Lando trying to get Kimmy in that last stint. He'd get within a
yes,
second in the main race,
yeah,
but he couldn't close that, and then he'd
oh
fall
yeah,
back, and
oh yeah,
then he'd try again, and yeah, I think you're exactly right. Whichever McLaren kind of ends up out front, whether
yeah,
it's Oscar or Lando, that it's such a drivable car, and whatever issues they
yeah,
were having marrying that gearbox to the engine, because they use their own
yes,
gearbox, certainly they've obviously solved that in the time off.
oh,
Um,
without a doubt,
because
yeah,
that looked like a different car, a completely
it
different
did,
car. It looked so
yeah,
drivable.
it did, yeah,
Um, and yeah, Lando, yeah. If you'd have said to me the McLarens are going to do well this weekend, I'd have gone, yeah, Oscar's probably going to, because Lando hasn't been there this
I get you.
season. The first couple of
No,
races,
he
he's
hasn't.
just not been there. Um,
No,
but fantastic weekend by him. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, we come to the sprint quali, and
yeah,
like Kimmy Antonelli, young lad, has been blistering in the qualifying recently. Like
he has,
every week, he's
yeah,
been blistering in the qualifying. Puts himself in the best position he possibly can, or thereabouts, second on the grid.
yeah, yeah,
Last race, first on the grid, and then every single time it's the same story at the start of the race.
yeah,
He can't get that
yeah,
car away from the line,
no,
and he just gets swallowed up. And fair play to him in the full race, but over the 19 laps of the sprint, once he got swallowed up, there was no way he was coming back from that.
no, no.
Um, he starts in second and finishes in sixth.
Yeah. I mean, Mercedes did turn around, didn't they, and said that was a preset that they put on the car. So they had a certain grip level that they were expecting for when the clutch was released for what the rear tires should be doing. And it was completely wrong. And you go, well, okay. But are you telling me all the other drivers got that right?
And you're telling
You
me
know
you're
what I
getting
mean?
it wrong with him every week, every
Yeah, but you
race.
didn't get it wrong with George.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's
Surely.
it's it's some of it's going to be the preset.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it's going to be the driver, and then you look to the race day and the race start, and he puts it on pole,
Yeah.
and immediately would have been swallowed up by both Lando and Charles if
Oh,
Max
yeah.
hadn't slammed the door on Lando, which
Yeah.
I think was just
Without a doubt.
brilliant of Max, but I think messed him up for
Oh,
turns
yeah.
one and two.
Yeah.
Because you saw the start of the race, and Max
Yeah.
and Kimmy kind of get away together, and you think, oh, Kimmy's had a good start, he's kept with Max, and then you
Yeah.
realise actually they both had a bad start because
Yeah.
Charles just comes round the outside. Once again, Kimmy's kind of getting swallowed up, and by the time you get round the first couple of corners, he's dropped back again.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
what was the excuse for getting away on race day? Yeah, you might have set it a certain way for sprints, but there comes a
Yeah.
point where you've got to look at the lad's starts. He's exceptionally quick once the car's going,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
but he's struggling so much to get it away from the line.
Completely agree.
If
Yeah.
I was him, I would be in the sim just going, just give me corner one over and over and over. Just let me Just give me race starts over and over and over. Let me get this.
Yeah.
Get this nailed. I mean, great drive to recover, but in the main race, but I do worry that
Yeah.
if everyone's catching up, he's in such a great position. He started the weekend leading the championship,
Oh yeah.
but if all the other cars are catching up,
Yeah.
those
That
slips could cost you massively.
yeah. That the thing is, you know yourself, if you're starting the race at the front, whether you're first or second or whatever, if you get a good start, you're sort of away from the danger at the front.
Mm,
Whereas if you're getting off the line very slowly and then you have, okay, the car in front of you is gone, but you've got the other, 20 cars behind you all barreling towards you, you're just putting yourself in that danger zone, aren't you? And
mm,
you're just increasing the chance that something might happen. And that's it. You could be out of the points completely for the entire
yeah,
race. As
yeah,
much as he's good for catching up, turn one instance can end your entire race.
yeah. And he
And
very
so,
nearly had one.
well, oh yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, I mean the sprint. To be fair, I was looking forward to it just because I've missed F1. There wasn't that much in the way of action through the sprint. It was all right, but once the cars had got a couple of laps under their belts, that's it. It was just
mm,
sort of let's watch them go around, if you like.
yeah, we,
There
we
wasn't
had
much.
we had shades of 2021 with Max and Lewis kind of
Yeah,
going at each other for a little bit, but um, and some other, and by the way, this isn't an anti-Max thing, but like I saw his bit after this because obviously he had to give the position back to Lewis.
yeah,
Um, and then after the race, complained that Lewis didn't overtake him where he wanted Lewis to overtake him.
yeah,
And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, but Max, you know why he didn't overtake you where you wanted him to overtake you? Because you wanted him to
yeah.
overtake you just before the line that's going to give you the extra battery for the next lap. And he wasn't going to give
Oh
you
yeah,
that. So, like, stop complaining about it. You know why he wouldn't do it. He knows why you were trying
of
to do it.
course.
Just get on with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You're saying he cost you 4 seconds. No, you cost you 4 seconds by trying to play a game.
yeah.
You
Oh yeah,
know,
of course. Yeah.
but it
Oh yeah.
was kind of cool seeing the shades of 2021. The two of them kind of just having a
Oh
little
yeah.
play around together. Um, some people will be having flashbacks going, "Is that happening again?" But it's it was like apart from that, there wasn't really much. Once he fell into order for those laps, a
Yeah.
couple of battery assisted overtakes and retakes and stuff,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
yeah, I think as you say, it was just good to see the cars back on track, racing in
it
anger
was.
again after what
Yeah.
feels like an eternity because
Yeah.
we had 3 races in quick succession, really,
Yeah.
and then it felt like another
The
off season.
the other side of it that I did enjoy, this goes to the race on the sprint, was that okay, I've enjoyed being back, but it's just been, well, the Mercedes are going to win and the Ferrari is going to battle behind. So all you need to know is which one of the Mercedes is coming first and second, and which one of the Ferraris is coming third and fourth. And
Mm.
that's what I honestly thought it'd be. Oh, it's another. And don't get me wrong, they built brilliant cars; they deserve to be there. But you do want it to be a bit less consistent, if you like. So
Yeah,
looking at this weekend, and you think, hang on a mo, McLaren's looking really good. Ferrari's still looking good. Maybe they just need to tweak it a little bit. Mercedes looking good. And you're like, Red Bull started to improve. You're like, this could actually turn out to be a good season, especially in the constructors
yeah.
and the drivers. Looks like it could be wide open at the minute. Obviously, it's still too early to call anything like that.
Mm.
But you do just think this could be a nail biter of a season, especially for the constructors.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I was wondering, and we'll never get an answer on it,
Yeah.
but obviously everyone bringing the upgrades, Mercedes holding off for
Mm.
now, but also Mercedes having to have made adjustments to that active aero
Yeah.
to enact the closing speed to happen within the window that it's meant to happen.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
did that play a part this weekend?
Maybe.
Especially in a closed circuit, which is what Miami is.
Yeah.
with all those walls and all the air kind of kicking up and around, and obviously they've had that advantage of the active area staying open slightly longer
Oh
when
yeah.
it should close. It's like, did that play a part in slowing them down just a touch and making the upgrades from the other teams seem like they were bigger?
Yeah.
We're not going to get the answer, but it did have me thinking, because it did look like in the braking zones, especially, they were more vulnerable.
Yes. Yeah, I get you.
And even though everyone brought upgrades, the gap that the Mercedes have been able to put on the rest of the field, because even though they were battling Ferrari in the first couple of races, once they were free of the Ferraris, they were gone. You know,
Yeah.
they were finishing 20, 30 seconds down the road, like even like Kimi 24 seconds ahead of like George or something like that in one of the races.
Yes. Yeah.
Because George had been China, because George had been tangling up with the Ferraris for a while. So you kind of thought, well, if they do catch up, maybe they'll be 10 seconds behind, or
Yeah.
5 seconds, not like actually battling for the win.
Oh yeah.
So those upgrades that have been brought by Red Bull, by McLaren, by Ferrari, they've been huge.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Absolutely huge. And I know Mercedes are going to bring theirs in a couple of weeks, but I don't want it to be they strap new stuff off and the 15 seconds down the road again.
No.
I want it to be, oh well, they've got they found a second or two.
Yes.
So everyone can still kind of
definitely.
play.
Yeah.
And also, like, the implementation, the changes they made to the battery implementation this weekend.
Yeah.
We didn't see as much clipping, I don't think.
No, there wasn't. No.
We did still see stupid overtakes.
Yes. Yeah.
You could definitely see it on the start finish straight after someone had made an overtake at the end of turn 17, at the end of the straight.
Yeah.
And then they'd be on the home, like the home straight, and then you just see like NOS activated as the other car behind just kind of closes the gap and just rips past them. You're like,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
They just need the cars to start pulling wheelies.
Yeah.
And start saying, it's all about family
Yeah.
as you're driving past. But yeah, I mean, it was a good sprint race, and it was good to see that the cars have closed the gap a lot. I did enjoy that. That was good.
Yeah.
And it was a good, it was a good 1-2 for McLaren. Can't argue with that. I did feel bad for Kimi Antonelli coming in 6th, but again, that all came down to his start, to be fair. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good, and it seems like they've solved the vibration issue at Aston Martin as well, according to the team. They're still lacking in power, but they have solved the vibration issue.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
The concerning thing is the power at this point now, because if they had been qualifying in F2, they would have lined up last on the grid in the F2 race of the weekend.
Yes.
It's just, I mean, where are we? Quali, race quali. Still talking 4 seconds off the pace in race quali.
Do you know what is the most shocking numbers here?
Well,
and don't get me wrong, it's not looking good for a lot of them, but just go to the sprint results, if you like. So the last person, Bottas, so in 19th, is 89 seconds behind the lead
after
on
19
what
laps.
was 19 laps. And okay, so even if you go with the fastest of the Aston Martins, which obviously is Alonso, 76 seconds in a 19 lap. That is ridiculous.
Where it's only 1 minute 32 a lap.
What's that? So
You're talking about 1 minute 32, 1 minute 33.
Yeah, so it is 4 seconds a lap. Yeah, that's what it works out as for the Aston Martin. 4 seconds a lap.
4/10 a lap is an eternity.
In Formula One, yeah. But 4 seconds is just unbelievable. You've got to do something about
the
that.
I genuinely think, and this is me, conspiracy hat on for anyone like thingy, but I think the behind closed doors they are negotiating for another engine. They've got to be
For next year, yeah.
Yeah. There's got to be a get out clause on performance. You know,
Yes,
with
there
the
has to be.
with Honda, there has to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see them with a Mercedes engine or Ferrari engine next year.
Yeah.
Because that Honda, they're clearly not up to it. They clearly had gotten out of the sport and had almost closed down that whole plant.
Yeah.
And just tried to spin it up as quickly as possible without the expertise that they had on board before they shuttered it, basically.
Of course.
If for whatever reason Aston Martin are not looking at another engine supplier, there's got to be concerns about who's running the shop there.
I mean, you look at Aston Martin; they've already got a good relationship with Mercedes, and the fact that most of their road cars are now running Mercedes engines. It's not like there's no relationship already there.
Yeah.
And I know the F1 side is different, but seriously, you've got to do something. They've got to.
Yeah, I would expect a divorce from Honda to be announced before the end of the season.
It's that early on; it should be an annulment, surely.
You'd think so, yeah. We haven't even consummated.
Yeah, they must have signed a prenup, surely. They had to have.
I saw something.
If Honda want, they can take Stroll in the divorce. Do you know what I mean? That's no problem.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I did see I don't know how true this was. It was like a meme quote thing or something. I don't know if it was taken from a proper interview. But someone was asked Alonso if, like, an automatic extension is available in his current contract, because he said he wants to race beyond 2026, and he answered, "Well, if I finish fifth in this car, I can retire." I don't know how true it was. I just saw it, like, that made me giggle.
Yeah.
I think if he finishes fifth in this car, I'll be looking for the other signs of the apocalypse.
Yeah, he's got no hope.
No
hope. Not unless all the other cars retire. But shall we move on to race qualifying?
Yeah.
So, to be fair, I was not expecting to see Max on second at all.
No.
That was, I mean, all right. It wasn't, it wasn't within 0.1, 0.2 of a second. It was what, 0.2, just under 0.2, 0.17. But I was not expecting that at all. To the point where if you watched Kimi come into the pits to park up at the number one, he stopped at the pit entry because he could see Max on the screen setting purple sectors. So he waited to see what number to pull into. And you think, you know what I mean? You think, really?
That's kind
I
of
would
cool.
have thought you'd just line up at number one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was the shame of it, really, is we saw, obviously, the Red Bull clearly has had massive upgrades this weekend, and it's done brilliantly to preserve its tyres and everything. Max even gets it into second, but as we'll talk about in a minute, turn one of that race going into turn two just absolutely ruined him. But we'll go into that in a minute.
Yeah. What I liked seeing from quali though, if you look down top 8, top 9, there's no up until you get to 8th and 9th when you get to the Alpines.
Yeah.
The top 8, top 7, sorry. There's no grouping of team cars. Yes. It's Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, which showed how close all those cars were this weekend. At least over 1 lap pace. They were all pretty rapid, and if you look at the difference between first and 7th, you got 0.6, 0.7 of a second, which
is a lot better than it was.
Yeah, it was. You were getting to a second and a half when you got to third and fourth.
Yes.
The first three races,
Oh, yeah.
because of the
Yep.
pace of that Mercedes. And yeah, I like I said before, Kimi is 1 lap pace for quali so far this season has been outstanding. He is so quick. Over 1 lap pace, no overtakes needed, anything like that. You ask him to put a lap together, he's going to give you a lap.
Yeah, he seems he's at one with that car. That car is his happy place at the moment. Yeah.
And Max, yeah, I mean, you kind of tell he was enjoying driving it again. Like,
yes,
not enjoying driving it so much, but he was, like you say, just happier with it.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
They say he doesn't enjoy driving the car with the regs.
No,
but he was a lot more at home in the car than he. But then the other side of the other Red Bull with Hadjar, what was his time? 128.7, which would have put him about eighth.
Yeah.
8th or 9th. He would have been 9th. Like 0.007 behind Franco Colapinto. Yeah. So we would have seen both the Red Bulls in Q3, brilliant. And then in the top 10 qualifying. But then he got DQ'd for his floor being 2 millimeters too wide.
Yes, yeah.
2 mil. Now everyone might go, oh, what's 2 mil? But I'm not going to ask you what 2 mil is to miles to you. I know that. But it's a precision sport.
Way, if you can measure it with a rule, it's not good enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, so for those who watched the last episode and the special episode, which was kind of like part of the last episode cut off separately, you'll know that Mark's a precision engineer by trade. 2 millimeters is an eternity to a precision engineer. And this is a precision sport, so you might look and go, well, it's only 2 millimeters. Like, it's, but it's a precision sport. Every millimeter counts.
2 millimeters is a tolerance on shipbuilding. I'm sorry, it's not a cruise ship. It doesn't work that way. No, it is.
No,
seriously,
I know.
It's no 2 millimeters. You just think, no, I'm sorry. It's you'll probably find that tolerance for the width of the floor probably has plus or minus 0.25, maybe plus or minus half a mil at very most. But more than anything, it will have a minimum size and a maximum size for the width. It's that simple. And
must
if it's
fit
not
within
right,
this box.
Yeah, well, it's a simple fact of if it ain't right, it's wrong. It's as easy as that. No, I'm sorry, 2 millimeters.
Think about like those bag measurers at the airport. If you can fit your bag in it, you're good.
Yeah.
But if it even a bit of it's hanging off, it's an extra 30 quid to stow it.
Yeah.
So unfortunate for him, but it does. It makes me wonder how that can happen though. Like,
do you know what I think it could be? That with it being the floor, obviously, when the floor is manufactured, if you like, it'll be, I would assume, I don't know, it will be put onto a work table and it will be measured out. Possibly when it's actually secured to the car and then you put the barge boards on it and everything, say if the carbon is ever so slightly lifting like that over a long distance, it will technically be shorter. Once it goes onto the car and you put the barge boards on, those edges will curl down slightly, maybe it's slightly wider.
I would assume at this level they'd be doing laser measurement. So it'd measure how flat it is, how wide it is, how long it is, to be that precise.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be anything. It could be, it was slightly warm in the morning. It could be.
Do you know what? It could be something. Honestly, it could be something as simple as it was a Friday night shift and the inspectors have all gone home.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
The apprentice has been left out with a laser.
It could be Monday morning and the guy was hungover. You have no idea. Do you know what I mean? They always reckon it's like if you're buying a car, the one car you don't want is the Friday night shift or the Monday morning shift because they're either
Mm,
hungover or dying to get home for the weekend.
yeah. If it was made on a Wednesday, you're fine.
Yeah, Wednesday's fine.
Wednesday's absolutely
Wednesday's
fine.
fine.
They've got into the
Yeah,
groove of it, and they're not quite looking forward to the weekend yet.
that's exactly it.
Uh,
I think he just had a Friday car. I think that's all
yeah,
it was.
you're
Yeah,
starting to dice
yeah.
with it a little bit if it's a Thursday or a Tuesday because you don't
Maybe,
quite know.
maybe.
Um, but
But
yeah, it just got me thinking. I was like, how did he miss that? But it could be as simple as they were just pushing the luck.
it could be.
Yeah,
Yeah, they could have been
we'll
completely
just
aware of it.
never know. Yeah, we'll
Either
just
that or somebody was using a tape measure that's had the end of it cut off. I've had
mm,
that before.
yeah. Uh, speak.
Yeah.
Speaking of conformity, there is something else we'll need to talk about later on the Red Bulls.
Oh. Okay.
Which is involves Ted Kravitz's head.
Well, is that
Uh,
hang on? Has Ted's head been calibrated? I
I
doubt it. You
don't
can't
know.
use that for measurements.
Could have been laser measured.
Anyway,
Could have been tucking his ears
let's
in. Who knows? We'll talk about that later
let's
though.
let's get on to the race.
Yeah, the race.
Right. Now, obviously, the reason we've called this episode Under Investigation is purely because it seems like the stewards were on holiday during that
Mm,
race. Now, all right, there were plenty of parts that needed investigating. We saw them. That's fine. Got no problem with that. But when something happens on lap 9 out of 59 or 57,
mm,
why on earth do you need to say we'll investigate it after the race? What are you doing the rest of the time?
yeah.
Were they in the hospitality having a bevy? What were they doing?
I wonder they had to bring the race forward a few hours to avoid the storms, and they're thinking rain's coming in if we're going to get some sun
Yeah, now's the time.
out on
Yeah.
the terrace with the margaritas, and yeah,
Hey.
it was just so that was Max's pit stop exit, pit exit.
Yes.
But before we even get there, the start of the race,
Oh, it was lively.
it was very lively. Now it did get
Oh yeah.
moved forward 3 hours to avoid the rain because apparently they forgot to pack the wet tires for every single race. We can't race in the wet anymore. It seems.
Yeah.
Any bit of water or threat of rain now seems to be, oh, we need to really think about this. Safety car, red flags.
Well,
Last week Ferrari had been doing wet weather testing with Pirelli
yeah.
for no apparent reason.
Yeah, well, what I didn't understand about this when they first said about it, so when they first broke it on social media and they said this was about last Thursday, maybe, and they said it looks like the weekend is going to be Sunday, absolutely lashing it down with thunderstorms. And you think, all right, I've been in Miami when there's a thunderstorm. It's not like it is in the UK where you have the odd crack of lightning every 2 minutes, and then before you know it, it's over.
Mm.
Um, it's not like that at all. It's brutal when it kicks off. I mean, it's fantastic to watch. I certainly would not want to be racing around in it. And we've been in it, and the second it starts raining, I've been wetter than when I've been in the bath. It's unbelievable. So I understand to a degree if they're trying to avoid a thunderstorm, yes, it's a safety issue. No problem, move the race. But then once they'd moved the race and we started watching it, it was like, oh, they were expecting rain an hour into the race. So they brought it forward, and you go, well, hold on, that's not what you were saying on the social
Yeah.
media. And if you were just expecting rain, why couldn't we have raced?
Mm.
Because, like you say, they've had the Ferraris out doing loads of tyre tests on wet weather tyres, intermediates, everything to get the specs, well, to get the info for these cars, if you like. And you think, so why now, at the first race when it looks like it might be raining, why have you suddenly said we're going to chuck the race forward because you want to keep everyone dry?
Mm.
What? I do not get it.
I mean, I know there are local laws in like Florida regarding
Yeah.
sporting events and weather because they can be
Yeah.
so extreme. But like, I can't think like if you're that worried about it at any point, it was grey and it was gloomy
Yeah.
the whole race, and it was getting darker towards the end. Yeah, but that could kick off at any point. Once those
Yeah.
clouds are there, once it's getting grey, once it's getting gloomy, once the threat of rain is there, you could get lightning within 8 miles of the stadium, which is apparently one of the
Oh, yeah.
rules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, as you say, if it was just as they seem to explain it during the race, we're expecting wet weather at 10 o'clock
Yeah.
our time, which was what 5 o'clock their time. Um,
Yeah.
or we were expecting some rain. That's why you have intermediate tires. That's why you have wet tires.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
if they can't race on them, you red flag it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and you want entertaining racing. Get them
Yeah.
out in the wet.
Exactly.
You know, it just doesn't make sense. All for the safety of the drivers, all for the safety of the spectators.
Of course.
But don't tell us it's this major safety issue in the lead up to changing the time, and then
Yeah.
broadcasters are telling us that you were just worried about the rain.
Yeah.
If they'd have gone, oh, there's a massive thunderstorm that's due in an hour into the
Oh, yeah.
expected race time, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair play. Yeah.
But they didn't mention thunderstorms once. It was, we were
No, it was
expecting
rain.
rain. And I did actually see, and I guess this is on the people for not checking emails or checking the race updates or anything like that, but some people posted about leaving the race after the race, seeing people coming in for the race.
Yeah. Yeah.
And going, where's everyone going? Like, the race is finished, and they hadn't got
That's
the
crazy,
updates.
that.
They'd paid all the money, hadn't got the update to go watch the race.
Yeah.
Which I guess is partly their fault for not checking updates, partly FIA's for moving it for no reason. But
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good, is it?
yeah, so we got all that kind of messing around. So we woke up on the Sunday morning to the race is going to be 3 hours earlier.
Yes.
And then we get to lights out. Kimmy and Max lined up at the front.
Yeah. I mean, Kimmy actually didn't get too bad of a start. He was a lot better than it was in the sprint. But then it was Leclerc, wasn't it? Leclerc came round, absolutely blistering start, as we've come to expect from these Ferraris. He goes round head to head with Max, and it looks almost, the way the camera angle was, almost as though they were about to touch, and it looked as though Max had, the way the camera was, it looked as though Max had gone over a bit of a sausage curb and then spun the car completely into opposing traffic. We thought it was definitely going to be, a good old pile up for turn one. But how on earth he kept his foot in that, spun it round and carried on going is absolutely unbelievable.
If you come back to the start itself, it looks like Kimmy and Max get away okay.
Yeah.
But if you watch behind them, Leclerc blistering around the outside of the left-hand side of thingy, but Lando was quick off. And I think if you watch it back, you kind of see Max realise he hasn't got away as well as he can. He's still neck and neck with Kimmy. He's not going to be able to block Kimmy off at the first corner. Looks in his mirror, sees Lando coming right up and slams the door on him. Very, the amount of, mental capacity to be able to kind of absorb all of that and then go, I've got to shut the door. And I think that's what messed him up for the entry into turn one.
Right.
Kimmy locks up into turn one, goes off to the left.
Yeah.
Leclerc did a fantastic job in avoiding anything there.
Yeah.
And Max kind of overshoots then as well, because he ends up on the left-hand side of Leclerc.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And it's as he's trying to come back on. I think he's too much on the throttle as he tries to come back on. He goes over the apex with the cold tires, and then that's it. He's just, and Leclerc's away then for the first lap of that. But how there was no collection of anybody else there,
I know, absolutely outstanding.
Was amazing.
I mean, I think that's the point when you said about the start there. It looks as though Max and Kimmy get away all right. I think the problem was there. they both got away equally slow.
Yeah.
But because they were both neck and neck, it looked like they got away quickly. But
Mhm.
as soon as everyone else started swamping them, it was like, oh, they're equally
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Um,
I mean, we're not F1 drivers at all, but we played enough of Miami to know if you enter corner one wrong, it's a mess through 2, 3, leading to 4.
oh yeah,
It,
oh yeah,
and that's why I think Max slamming the door on Lando, because he kind of had to swing right to then try and swing left again to try and set himself up for the
yeah,
right
yeah,
hander, and I think he was just all sorts of out of line.
yeah,
Probably got a bit lucky that Kimmy locked up, because Kimmy went straight on. If Kimmy hadn't locked up, I think he'd have been turning across Max as Max went long.
yeah.
So there's a bit of luck involved all around there that nothing was collected before the first
Oh
turn.
yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Um, but the fact that nobody went into Max as he was doing his ballerina twirl.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
what car control?
Oh,
Like
amazing.
once he was full rotation to be able to pick it up and
Oh
kind
yeah.
of go again.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Um, I mean, that, let's face it, that was the start of Max absolutely wringing the neck of that Red Bull.
Mm,
And what a drive to get back to where he did, I tell you.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to skip through the whole race, but just talking about Max, I mean, he pitted on lap, was it 7 or 8?
7 or 8 when the
It was lap 7 because it was a 57 lap race.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so he pitted on lap 7 with the safety
with
car,
the
wasn't
safety
it?
car, yeah,
And straight onto the hard tires, and then it was let's see what we can do. And I'm sure when he came out the pits, he was in 16th or 17th, was it?
yeah.
Um,
16.
Unreal,
Yeah.
absolutely unreal to battle your way back up there.
Yeah.
And let's face it, 50 laps on a set of hards, 50. That's unreal.
Mm.
That is just
On
amazing car control.
on a track that has a lot of like winding
High speed corners.
high speed corners.
Yeah.
It, as we said earlier, the Red Bull at China wouldn't have been able to do 50 laps on the hards. If they brought that car to Miami,
No.
wouldn't have been able to do
Oh
50
yeah.
laps on the hards.
No. No.
Um, the way it was shredding its tires, it would have been done after about 25, 30 laps.
Without a
So
doubt.
whatever they have done there, the fact that he felt like
Oh
he could
yes.
just wring the neck of it for the whole race, to the point
Yeah.
where he was, you know, yeah, he's being caught towards the end
Yeah.
by like Leclerc and Russell and that. But the fact that he could be there that far up at the end with those
Oh yeah.
tires was
Oh yeah.
amazing. He's done a fantastic job of that. But the other hand of that is the safety car that he pitted under
Yeah.
was caused by Hadjar.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, coming around up the hill to the left hander to the really tight
The
technical
chicane.
section through the chicane before
Yeah.
you hit that last straight. And just the slightest, maybe half an inch of
Yeah.
miscalculation and just ripped that
Yeah.
front left tire off, went straight into the wall. That wasn't the bit that I was gutted about. Gutted that he's at, he's at that
Oh yeah.
moment. It was
Oh
really
yeah.
hard watching him beat the hell out of himself in the car.
Yeah. 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 I get you on that one.
Um,
He is definitely his own worst critic by a
mm,
long shot.
yeah,
I mean, he misjudged that by maximum an inch. Maximum.
mm,
It wasn't much at all.
yeah,
And it didn't even seem like it was a big hit either. But whereas normally those kind of corners, it's normally like a bit of sponge before you
mm,
hit the steel on the inside. It looks like it was just a yellow thin covering
mm,
of nothing, and yeah, that was such a gutting way to end this race.
yeah.
So
And
harsh.
but it wasn't just like a quick 5 minutes, like a quiet 5 seconds. Sorry, just like, oh, what am I doing? I'm an idiot, like hitting the
No,
helmet. It was continuous for like minutes. And then he got
it
out the
was.
car and he's still having a go at himself. And I'm like, I felt for him like you're being way too hard on yourself there.
Yeah.
Because let me rewind you a few years back to when Max was a bit younger at Monaco. 2 years in a row at the same corner, doing the same thing. Just a fraction, ripping the thing out. Hey, don't be that hard on yourself. World champions have done it.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're driving fast cars in tight spaces.
Yeah.
You're not perfect. No driver's perfect. You're all going to have moments. Just kind of go, okay, what can I learn from that?
I wonder if part of it in his head is he's still worrying about Red Bull of old, because let's face it, we're a couple of races deep into the season and he's making mistakes like that. And don't get me wrong, as we've both said, it was a tiny error, and we've seen a lot of drivers do tiny mistakes like that, and they are race ending for what was a tiny mistake. But in his head, is he looking at it going, "Oh man, I'm going to get replaced"?
Mm.
You know, that's part of it. But he is definitely his own worst critic, and you tend to find the drivers that are like that, who are their own worst critics, they tend to be the better drivers down the line. Do you know what I mean?
I hope it's a case of he just vents everything there and then.
Yes. Yeah.
Then once he's back and the helmet's off, he's just like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
I hope it's that. Because you don't want it to be like for example, like a Lando from a couple of years ago situation where he's so hard on himself that it then goes into his races. Because he's got himself down, and Ricardo, he's got into his own head.
Yeah.
Perez, once a driver gets into their own head, sometimes there's no coming back with the results before it's too late.
Completely agree.
And he's a young lad, and I don't want to see him. And I hope Max has kind of found him in the paddock afterwards, in the Red Bull suite afterwards, put his arm around him and showed him footage of Monaco and gone, look at that. And just kind of gone, don't worry about it, it happens.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
I mean, talking of him like that whole Red Bull cloud over the head, like, oh, I'll be replaced.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be by anyone at Racing Bulls. Like, if it was.
No.
So I think he's kind of got that safety net as well. They haven't got anybody good enough there to come replace me. Just he was already struggling with the car. And then just that one little moment kind of flipped.
The one thing whilst all this was happening, though, was the fact that whilst all this was going on, and obviously you see him beating the steering wheel and all that, me and you were both sat there, and at the same time it was, that's a safety car. Where's the safety car?
Yeah.
And at no point was there a safety car called during him. And we were watching him beat that steering wheel for a good while this was all happening. And then obviously we had the crash at the final turn between Gasly and Lawson, where you see Gasly go upside down and then mount onto the barrier. And then it was like, okay, we've already watched the replay twice of what happened to Hadjar. We've now seen what just happened to Gasly. Oh, now there's a safety car. You think, I'm sorry, it is like the stewards were on vacation.
Yeah, the moment he was in that barrier, considering where it was, it should have been safety car.
Oh, instantly.
And if that had happened, we wouldn't have had the Gasly Lawson incident at turn 17.
No, we wouldn't. No.
Because they were still under racing conditions whilst Hadjar's a wheel deep into a wall.
Yeah.
And this comes back, I think, to what we were saying about we need this consistent team of stewards.
Yes.
A consistent team of stewards would know we got a car on the wall in a closed circuit.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that happens there.
Oh yeah.
You can't go, oh, is there space to get around? No, there's walls everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what's caused the problem. Get that safety car out. You would have saved Gasly and Alpine damaged car. and Gasly,
yeah.
the chance to score some points.
Yeah.
And coming to that, Lawson wasn't penalised.
No.
It was seen as unavoidable on Lawson's part
Yes.
because of mechanical failure or technical failure.
Gearbox failure. It
Yeah.
was. Yeah. Yeah.
Which we'll go through some of the FIA findings kind of in a bit, but you kind of think, oh, well, you wouldn't have had to investigate that. You wouldn't have had that problem at all
No.
if we're all about driver safety. The moment there's a driver in the wall, it's a safety car. What
That's exactly what it should be.
what were they hoping? They could lift him off and out the way without stopping the race.
You can't exactly do double waved yellows under those conditions, can you? And the stupid thing is, if you watch the onboards going into that chicane, when he turned left and clipped that wall, it's completely blind because it's ever so slightly in elevation.
To repress, yeah.
So as you go up and turn left and then quickly right, you cannot see that piece of road past that corner. So if you don't know that car's there and you go over that swinging left to then swing right, there's a car right there in front of you in the wall. You cannot avoid that. So I don't understand how it can be anything but an instant safety car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What on earth?
That
was baffling.
The stewards had us guessing all race. We were looking at each other the whole race. Every time there was an announcement from the stewards, like,
yeah,
really? Give me the footage. I'll give you an answer in a lap.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean it's even like, obviously it came up saying Max was being investigated for crossing the line on pit exit. At no point during that entire race, and that was on lap 7. At no point in the entire race did we see one clip of that footage.
No,
not once. And you think, I don't understand. And now it seems to be this isn't the steward's fault. But we're watching the race leaders, and then when any action's happening, we're watching it in a tiny box on the side of the screen.
Yeah.
Why?
The amount
Why
of
aren't we watching it?
complaints I've seen today.
Oh yeah.
About the race directors. Because whether you're watching it on Sky, whether you're watching it on Apple, whether you're watching it on whatever channel you watch it on around the world, you're getting the feed from a race director. It's not from the channel you're watching it on. Because they can't all afford to be there with their own cameras, and they just take on massive cameras over it. It's a race director giving the feeds to the distributors, essentially, to whichever channel you're watching on. The only cameras that kind of belong to Sky, for example, the ones they use in the pits where they're interviewing people, or like Ted's there and he's got his own cameraman, or the hosts are talking away. That's their cameras. That's their private feed. But actual race feed is race director, and it's been appalling this year.
Oh, it has. Yeah.
Every single race, it's been, as you say, here's a small box with that overtake that's happening whilst we just watch one guy go around being followed by another guy 3 seconds behind because he might catch up in 5 laps.
That was the same as Max's spin in turn 2. It went round turn 2, and as the camera panned away, I said to you, it looks like Max just spun, but you couldn't see it. All I saw was the back end of his car let go. That's all I saw. I didn't know whether he wiggled, whether he went into a wall, nothing. And then when the camera finally turns back from the next turn on, if you like, and looks back down the track, it was the front end of Max's car and just a cloud of smoke behind him. And it was like, what just happened?
And then you got the long shot from turn 3, I think, where you can just see him straighten out and then drive off. And then we didn't see the replay until the safety car was out.
Yeah.
So 6-7 laps later.
It's pathetic.
You're like, well, loads of actions just happened there, but we didn't get to see exactly who missed who and who messed up and who went long and who nearly took someone's wing off.
Oh yeah.
For 5 or 6 laps, or even 7 or 8 laps, and you're like, well, even if you use that small box in the thingy to show us it, that's great. If you want to stay on the live race, just show us it. It's if you want to stay on the race or on the leaders, brilliant. There's so much real estate. You can put a little pop-up window in and go, here was turn one incident.
It's the same though. It's the same as like every time we get to like lap 3 or 4, when people are just starting to make the first good few overtakes. What do they do? And often shows the race start, and you're like, I've just watched that. I've just watched the race start. I was there when it began.
Yeah,
Stop doing
the
this.
timing just is not great.
Um, oh man, honestly, they've clearly never directed anything.
Mm,
They must all be like failed film directors. They have
yeah,
to be. It's so pathetic.
it
But anyway,
the whole season's been like that though. It really has. The whole season's been like that.
no, I know. I
Um,
know.
but then like after the safety car, we kind of settled into this. Like Leclerc had made a fantastic start, and I thought he was going to get away in that, but then you had like Lando just
Mm.
just slowly chasing him down.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously George had managed to kind of make up the spaces as well, make other places as well at the start. So
Yeah.
you had this like Leclerc, Lando, I can't remember the exact order, but Leclerc, Lando, I think it might have been Oscar, George, Max, Lewis. No, Franco Colapinto first, then Lewis, because then they came together,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yes.
In the same place that Lewis and Max had the squabble in
Yes.
in the sprint, and Lewis I think picked up some damage there.
He did, yeah.
And I didn't spot it at the time, but there's actually a video of Lewis's onboard when he's overtaking Colapinto on the long straight towards turn 17, where he gestures to him kindly.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, it made me laugh because I'm like, if you've riled up Lewis enough mid race for him to do that to you, because he's usually
Yeah.
just like, he'll say his bit after the race kind of like thing, but he's usually or on the radio, but he's not usually the one to like gesticulate towards another driver
That's true.
all that often.
Yeah.
He has done it, but yeah, he gave him a piece of his mind on the way past.
Fair play. Fair
But
play.
it did settle into, you could see it unfolding. Like Leclerc was losing a little bit of pace. Those McLarens were on the
Yeah.
hunt.
Oh yeah.
Kimmy was like making like the recovery. He had the pace as well, and you kind of looking at it going, I have no idea how this is going to end up.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair,
The three races before, it's like, oh, Kimmy and George are closing them down, or the one up
yeah.
front. Yeah, we know this is going to get. It was actually, I think Lando could get a double win this weekend.
It did look that way for a while.
Um,
It did.
and it was
And
only when they. Sorry, go on.
considering as well, obviously Kimmy was complaining he was having issues when downshifting,
Mm,
where he was saying he was pulling the paddle and nothing was happening. And you think, he's
mm,
getting some gearbox issues. This could be, worst
yeah,
case scenario, a retirement from the race. If
yeah,
not, he'll certainly start losing pace. And as he was saying all this, you could see the gap to Lando gradually close.
yeah,
And it was like, it's down to 0.7 of a second. And then all of a sudden it grow back again to 1.1, 1.2,
yeah,
1.4. Yeah, it was
yeah.
impressive.
That was after the pit stops, wasn't it? But like before the pit
Yeah.
stops, like Lando was looking like a
Oh,
shoe in,
yeah.
I thought, for the win. Like, and it was only when those pit stops happened, McLaren, I think, were confident in their pace at that point.
Yes.
Both cars were going quick. Oscar was
Yeah.
obviously on the hunt as well. But Mercedes decided to pull Kimi in, and Kimi was behind
Yes.
Lando at this point.
Yeah.
And McLaren didn't really respond to it straight away.
No.
There's like a lap or two, like it was like, right, okay, let's bring Lando in. And when they did that and Lando come out, he was behind Kimi. So that stint that Kimi did post pit stop
Yeah.
was phenomenal. And
Oh, yeah.
but I genuinely thought, right, Lando's going to come out and he's just going to hunt him down again. He's been in that kind of form all weekend. The McLaren's look solid.
Yes.
He's going to bring him. And then, as you say, when those gearbox issues started, and he was like,
Yeah.
oh no, poor lad, he's just recovered from a bad start.
Yeah, this is where I think this is what I was saying before, where the McLaren is great in clean air.
Mm,
When it is in that dirty air, don't get me wrong, it's still a fast car, and Lando was still getting it round. He was doing a great job, and he kept managing to close the gap a bit, and then all of a sudden the gap would grow, and then it'd close a little bit, and then it'd grow, and it just makes me wonder: is that McLaren a car that it can get close, and unless you can get an absolutely dominant overtake, it just struggles in that dirty air a little bit,
mm,
and it just makes me think. I'm sure that Mercedes has just got the edge on it. Sure, it
yeah,
has. Yeah,
I think it has. I think everyone's closed the gap. Mercedes
yeah,
haven't moved, but if the Mercedes is out front, I think as Kimmy showed, I think it's got enough.
yeah, yeah.
Hasn't got what it had in comparison 4 weeks ago, but it's got
No,
enough. It's
no,
got
no.
enough. Um,
Yeah.
but I was getting a little bit heartbroken for him. Like, he's fought back from that really bad start. He's
Oh
put his
yeah,
head down. He's really driven it, and you're like, if he's having trouble shifting, it's only going to be a matter of
yeah.
time before Lando's on him and past. But the amount of
Oh, without a
times
doubt.
Lando got within a second to get that extra boost,
Yeah.
but couldn't make it happen.
Oh yeah,
Um, was it, it looked like he was being very smart with his battery usage, Kinney,
definitely.
and kind of mitigating the problem as much as he could.
Yeah.
But then you had Max behind them for so long in third,
Oh yeah,
looking like he was gonna make those tires
yeah.
get him a podium. Like, at one point, you're like, hang on a minute.
Do you know, with the pace of that Red Bull this weekend, I am absolutely convinced if Max had got a good start at the beginning, he would have been standing on that podium.
Hmm,
Definitely,
yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, I said to you, didn't I? Like, if he'd have pitted with maybe 17, 18 laps left for softs,
Oh yeah,
he could have probably ripped back up to fourth, fifth, fourth,
I
maybe.
think so.
With that pace,
Yeah,
he was rapid. And if he was on fresher, soft tyres and
oh
everyone
yeah,
was on those used tyres, I think he would have had pace to
oh
get
yeah.
a few places back quite easily. It was a
Yes.
gamble to stay on the hards till the end, but it would have been just as much of a gamble, I think, to come in
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
try and do the overtakes. Um, but we did see kind of Leclerc. Leclerc faded after that initial stint, but then once
a little
the
bit. Yeah.
life was going out of Max's tires, you could
Yes.
see it was like a
Yeah.
clock, just the time just ticking
Oh, it
away.
was. Yeah. It was
Um,
inevitable.
and then Russell behind Leclerc as well.
Yeah.
You know, you were kind of just watching them both fall in, but once they got to him, it wasn't a walk in the park. Once Leclerc got
No.
to Max, it was not a walk in the park.
No.
But that's where like we saw the batteries again,
Yes.
and part of me was like, oh great, Max isn't letting them just walk by; he's putting up a fight. But it
Yeah.
was like, here's my extra battery. You've overtaken me into turn
Yeah.
17. Brilliant. I'm going to overtake you into turn 1. And it's like, oh, it looks painful for me.
It.
Like,
I know exactly what you mean. The thing is, they seem to have greatly improved the super clipping issue,
yeah,
especially on the long straights.
mm,
Definitely, because not only the long back straight, but the slightly windy section in the middle of the lap,
mm,
there wasn't like a massive clipping at the end of that long straight where it was like, oh no, I've lost 50 kilometers an hour.
mm.
And you could even hear the engines weren't powering down as much. That was greatly improved.
Oh,
And
yeah,
fair play.
yeah,
They did a good job of that. But then after turn 17, especially going across the start finish line, you could see the second the car behind pressed their battery button, it
yeah,
was just like a massive boost. It may as well have been from a cartoon where the rear
mm,
tires go on fire and then it zooms past.
Yeah.
because that's what it looked like, and it was just as though the car in front is standing still.
It's like
Um,
you could tell, like, if the overtake was done prior to turn 17
yeah,
or going into turn 17, you could almost always tell that the car in front had just stopped deploying battery to
yeah,
conserve a bit, so that when they got round turn 17 and they were behind at the marker, they then had all the battery they wanted on the main straight to go. And then likewise, you could tell when someone was chasing up towards turn 17
oh yeah,
but didn't want to get the overtake done. You could see them kind of come off the battery a bit early,
yeah,
and then just tuck in with the aero and get close enough to be behind at the marker. Like, just stay behind, get to the marker,
yeah,
get something you conserve some battery. I've got extra because I'm at the marker. I've gone past the marker within a second,
yes,
and away we go. And we've had all this talk like, oh, they're not manufactured overtakes. They're not fake overtakes. They are. That is not one
yes,
driver lining up
yeah,
another driver and then making the move.
yeah,
Um, that is one car going, I have excessively more power than you right now
yeah,
because of this battery and because of these new regulations. Bye.
yeah,
And it was mainly turn 17 down the home straight, down the main straight that we were seeing that. All the other action around, you're kind of going, oh, bit of wheel to wheel. Yeah, there's some battery usage here and there. It's looking like
yeah,
some good fun
yeah.
racing. It reminded me of China. You're seeing like
I
first
get you.
couple of sectors of the
Yeah.
track. You're seeing some good racing, back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Gets that main straight on China, and it was like, here's my battery. Bye.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're like, I mean, yeah, well, just get rid of the straights. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Get rid of the batteries. But it kind of, it just reminded me that we're in this era of regulations
Yes.
where we've got these manufactured overtakes where like a driver could have worked really really hard to line you up for turn 17,
Yeah.
get in a position to be able to make the overtake, and they've made the overtake. And in the past they've got a, if they get a good drive out to turn 17, they can defend going into turn 1, even though it was a DRS, and like, DRS was kind of manufactured overtaking, but there was still, you still had to do something, and
Yes.
the other car still had something to defend against, with a bit of ERS or whatever. um
Yeah.
you know that kind of, I've lined you up, I've got the overtake done, now I'm going to defend it into turn 1, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Now it's, I've made the overtake, but I've got
Mm.
nothing. I've just had
You
to
see.
use everything along the back straight to overtake it, and it just,
Yeah.
just
I
rubbed them
wonder.
the wrong way.
I wonder whether would it help if you were to turn around and say, right, okay, you've all got the active aero, you've all got the battery and the boost and all that, but we're going to change it now so that you can all use it whenever, wherever you want. If you save the power, you can use it. Forget all the 1 second gaps and all that. You can use it. So effectively, it wouldn't matter if you overtook me or dive down the inside going into turn 17 because actually I can use my boost mode as well because it
Mm,
doesn't matter where I am or when. So you wouldn't end up with that engineered
mm,
overtake because you would have to do it with skill. Or if you, don't get me wrong, if you saved it up but the other person you're trying to overtake hasn't because they're trying to defend, well, that's their own fault. You're going past. But
mm,
because it is very much, as soon as there is detection zone and as soon as there is a set line on the track, you can already tell which driver is planning to stay behind just so they can use this extra boost. That's the problem, isn't it?
yeah.
Whereas if you can use it whenever, wherever you want on the track, or away you
Mm,
go, because it'll be unexpected areas. And that's what we've loved to see in tracks in the past when you hear, wow, have you seen that overtake? We have never seen somebody overtake going into that corner
mm,
or coming out of that corner or, going into that hairpin. You never see it. And you think that's what you want.
yeah.
Not, overtakes only in certain parts of the track because that's where you've engineered it.
Yeah.
That's
And the other
you don't
side
want
of
that.
that, from what we heard from like Lando the other week, we were like, oh, I didn't want to overtake Lewis there, but the battery decided that I should.
Oh yeah,
You got this battery software learning where it wants to deploy as well,
yeah.
as having this boost, and you're like, none of it adds up. It just takes away from what was looking like, well, what was overall a good race,
Yeah,
but it would have been so different if actually once someone got an overtake done into 17,
yeah.
they were allowed to defend it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And the only time that didn't really happen is if, like, for example, when Max's tires were cooked and he couldn't get the drive out of the
Oh yeah,
corners to be quick enough. Even with that extra bit of boost, you're just looking at like the massive tire offset. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, it'd be like the rest of the track was, "Oh, that's good, that was a good move. Oh, he's lining them up there. Look,
yeah,
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 there's a bit of battery usage here and there. But they're still having to make the overtake into the corners, like at the end of what used to be the middle DRS section, that winding bit.
yeah,
Most of the overtakes happening there weren't like I've activated my battery and I'm gone. They were
yeah,
coming into the left hander before you kind of get through that little technical stadium section.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were being done there because that's where we were seeing people kind of coming together or being forced off track and things like
Of
that.
course,
So the rest of the racing was, it looked good. It kind of felt good,
it did.
and it was just that one little bit where the
Yeah,
batteries were so evident.
yeah.
Um,
They've made steps in the right direction, but we're
yeah,
just not. We're just not
yeah,
there yet. Yeah,
yeah. And then it kind of, we ended with this crazy, crazy last lap. Before
yeah.
we even get there, Leclerc got the move done on Max, and then
Yes.
we get Max v George.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a rivalry to behold, that isn't it?
yeah, and there was contact.
There was.
Corner one, I think it was. George was looking to get the overtake on Max. Max had just enough to fight him.
Yeah.
Going into corner one, he had enough of a head start coming out of that turn 17. Looked like George was trying to hang it around the outside and just ran out of room.
Yeah.
Didn't look like Max was forcing him at all. In fact, there looked like a fair bit of room on the left
Oh yeah.
when the contact came. But yeah, took the end plate off the front right of
Yeah.
George's car, which was deemed a racing incident. Apparently, both drivers said it was a racing incident to the stewards. So
Yeah.
they were, that one you can understand being kind of talked about at the end because it was last couple of laps.
Course.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like George did eventually get past Max, but he
Yeah.
wasn't. Even though he was on those older tires, he was holding no quarter for anyone.
No, he wasn't.
He was like, if you want past me, you're going to earn it, and you got to tip your hat to that.
Of course you have. Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to pull over and just go, yeah, you're quicker. See you later.
No.
I like that. I like that kind of, you're going to earn this.
Yeah.
And what I actually liked, and I don't think we've seen this for a while.
Okay.
No one was giving Max any quarter either.
No.
Sometimes they'd back, I'm going to back out here, I'm going to back out there, but they were literally going, no. If you want this, we'll go for it. Charles did it, George did it, and there was no moment of, oh, it's Max. I'll just, the old, oh, it's Max. You know what'll happen if you don't get out of his way.
Yeah.
That was said a couple of years ago, or last year, or whatever. Every driver was like, yeah, I'll have some of that.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I was kind of like, yeah, I like seeing this actually.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Maybe is it he's in a slower car, so, or is it just you know what? Let's go at it.
No, I do wonder, are these cars actually better for the drivers to handle in close quarters? It certainly seems that way.
Yeah.
I think they're a lot more responsive in close quarters. I think they do handle the dirty air a little bit better, being side by side a lot as well. So I do think that helps an awful lot. Plus, I mean, the drivers we're talking about, Leclerc has never stepped out of Max's way, nor
Mm,
Max out of Leclerc's way.
no,
They've got a lot of respect for each other.
mm.
And Russell, he's never going to dive out of Max's way. But if they were to collide, he'd blame Max anyway. You know, he's trying to put his head in a wall or something. That's just Russell. But no, the racing has been very close, and that
Mm,
part of it, I am really enjoying. I mean, coming to those final couple of laps, it wasn't only Max that went for the 360 at the beginning, was it?
mm.
It was almost as though Leclerc was jealous of
Yeah.
Max doing a nice 360 and went, I reckon I could do that.
Mm,
Well, he managed the 360, but unfortunately clipped the wall
yeah.
coming out of it
The back end of that just gave up.
completely.
He
Yeah.
did. It's not like he went on the stripes or rumble strips or anything like that. He just accelerated out, and the back went, "Oh, that I'll go first."
Well,
Um,
you say that, but if you watch it, it's the same. It's exactly the same spin that Max had. Different corner, granted, but it's the same spin in the fact that Max had just gone onto the rumble strip, got off it, and then as he put the power down, the back gave up. It wasn't as he left the rumble strip, he was already back on the tarmac. And that was the
mm,
same as happened to Leclerc. So he'd been on the rumble strip, came off, and then he was 2 meters on the tarmac
mm.
off the rumble
Yeah,
strip. And then all of a sudden the back went. It
it
was
just,
almost as though it's almost though it's tried to send too much power in one go to the rear wheels
yeah.
and
I
it's just
think
give up.
I think the thing with Maxwell is like he didn't look in control, kind of bringing it back across the thing. If you get me, because then like he didn't really have time to settle. He just kind of, as he was coming back right, he tried to put the power down,
Oh no, I
and
get that,
and he
yeah.
kind of spun out. It looked like Leclerc had got back onto the track okay,
Yeah.
and was starting to just accelerate up like around that right hand, and it kind of just
Yeah.
went,
I get you.
nah, I'm not having that. And it, if you watch it from a couple of different angles, it doesn't look like that big of a tap against the wall. It's a tap,
No.
and it's one of those side-on ones where you kind of think, oh, the suspension's all right there, like
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
they're designed to kind of take that bump in wheel to wheel or whatever.
yeah.
It's only those little weird taps that usually
Yeah.
break suspension that, but it broke his car. it
Oh yeah.
really did break
Oh
his
yeah.
car. So much so that he couldn't steer he
Yes.
couldn't steer to the right
Yeah.
very well. And then obviously George got past, Max got
Yeah.
past. He got over the line,
Yeah.
but was summoned to the stewards.
I'm not surprised about
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
But I mean, it was an action packed race in that in the sense that we had a bit of wheel to wheel.
Of
We had
course.
we we didn't know which way it was gonna,
Yeah.
until the last couple of laps. We didn't know who was gonna win really, because that's when like Lando kind of gave up and just decided to consolidate his second place. And
Yeah.
I think he realized like 5 laps before the end, wasn't he, that he's not going to catch him.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
it.
No point in taking any risks. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had such a lead over whoever was behind him at that point.
Yes.
Oscar, I think it was at that point anyway.
Yeah. Of
Um,
course. Yeah.
but in between all of this, we had so many, This has been referred to the stewards.
Yeah.
Ocon, Alonso, the Max incident, the Gasly and Lawson incident, a few other things.
Yeah.
And everything was popping up with this is going to be investigated after the race.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Completely.
To the point where we were just like, well, what are they doing? And we said this already. But then as we were going, a couple of them popped up, like Ocon investigated, no further action. Alonso investigated, no further action. You're like, I turned around and said to you, didn't I? Someone from the FIA got on the phone going, what are you guys playing at?
Oh, yeah. That's what it seemed like.
Why is nothing getting investigated? And they kind of like put the margaritas down and got back to work.
Yes.
So we've got some of the actual after race reports. So in no particular order, the Liam Lawson one. So this is for the crash with Gasly. Stewart's heard from car 30, Lawson, and driver of car 10, Gasly. So Gasly's trying to go around the outside, 17. He looks like he's got it done for all intents and purposes. Now, according to Racing Bulls and Lawson, they had a gearbox failure.
Yes.
And we saw the lockup because we said to me at the time, "Oh, that's a lockup. That's got to be a penalty for Lawson." That is just a lockup. It's not like he's intentionally kind of hit him. He's just locked up.
No.
Obviously, gearbox failing is going to cause a lockup anyway. It's but you'd expect that at the rear. Would be my thoughts.
Yes.
But it was the front that locked up. So I'm like,
it's because the way they explained it in an interview, when they say gearbox failure, normally when we think gearbox failure, it locks the rear wheels because it just completely seizes or jams.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it failed and went straight into neutral. So it went completely out of gear and he couldn't get a gear.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I missed that bit then.
That's why. So that's why he's ended up locking the front, because he's braking, expecting engine braking as he's downshifting. It's gone neutral.
Yeah.
And he's locked and slid forward. That's what they mean by gearbox failure.
Now they've said no further action because it was a mechanical failure, not driver error.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
In what way?
Because it's put another driver out of the race.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, well, Gasly's lost the chance of getting points. Alpine have lost the chance of getting points. They're not going to repair a car. But I mean that's an aside. I mean they've just said no thingy.
Yeah.
But I was watching a clip earlier and I could have sworn you see Lawson's on-screen display on his wheel flicker off for a second.
Right.
And it got me thinking about Max the other week, a few weeks back, when his onboard display just completely shut out. So obviously it's the same engine, it's the same gearbox, it's the same software.
Yeah.
And Lawson apparently did say this is a known issue that they have.
Yes.
So like my feelings on whether he should have got maybe a 5-place grid penalty or whatever for the next race for taking another driver out, regardless of whether it's thingy. I think this should you've injured somebody else's race and their chances at getting points. It's a hard one. Driver error, mechanical error. It's a hard one. I just feel like poor guy's been put into a wall upside down, but
I think if it was his fault, if it was Lawson had just locked up and he biffed it, fair enough, give him a penalty, no problem. But I think if it's mechanical, I can't see why you should punish Lawson. I can't see that, and I understand it's taking somebody else off the race, but I can't. No, I can't agree with that.
In that sense, and this is maybe not a question for another time, but then does it become a team penalty because it's affected another team's chances?
Yeah, Yeah, if you want to do that, I think it'd have to be
Uh,
if you want something to compensate the other driver, yes, it should be some form of team penalty,
hmm. But just a
rather
couple
than
of
a
points here and
punishment
there.
on the driver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not talking
something
like
like that.
20 points off the team. I just think
No,
another driver's been unfairly taken out
no, I agree
through
with that.
no fault of their own. Another team's lost a chance to score points from a
Yeah,
rival, essentially.
I think that's the point,
Um,
though. I think you've just made your own point there in the fact that one driver has gone out the race through no fault of his own, and the other driver has been taken out through no fault of his own. So if neither driver is at fault, it has to be a team that's punished. It has to be.
yeah. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah.
I think that lines up with my idea of team penalties should be
Yes.
team
Yeah.
penalties and
Definitely.
not
Yeah.
driver penalties. I've said
Yes.
that in the
Yeah. I
past.
agree
Yeah,
with that.
that line.
Yeah.
I'd agree there. I would agree there. I
Yeah.
think it's just like I feel harsh that Gasly's had such a great weekend
Oh, I
and
completely agree.
then had any chance at
Oh yeah.
scoring points, and he was on the move as well. He was doing well.
Oh no,
So
I agree with that.
yeah, that was the Lawson one. Like no further
Yeah.
action, all down to mechanical. It's worrying to me though that they know that's an ongoing issue. So when's that going to
Yes.
happen again?
Right.
Um, if it happens again and it takes another driver out because it's happened on a corner under braking, and I think it's just
Yeah.
right. Can I click onto the next one here? Right, I'm gonna have to close that again and open it again.
Which one are you looking for?
I'm just looking to open any of them. Right. Yeah, but I think it's been open that long that it's
So, are we looking at Leclerc's penalty?
yes, that's the one I've just opened up.
So, I didn't understand this, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Right. I'm completely Leclerc deserved a penalty because
Mm,
okay, he left the track so many times. I get it. No problem. Give him a penalty, man. Nobody cares.
mm,
But it's the way they describe it in this. Car 16 left the track on several occasions without a justifiable reason. If broken suspension and steering is not a justifiable reason, what are we doing here?
mm, yeah. So
Seriously.
she was heard from Charles Leclerc, team representative reviewed position and marshal data, all of that, right? In-car
Yeah,
evidence.
yeah, yeah.
So in-car video evidence, bear that in mind, right, for this one.
Oh, yeah.
The driver informed us the car appeared fine, save that the car would not negotiate right-hand corners properly. Given this problem, he was forced to cut chicanes. But the fact that he had a mechanical issue of some sort did not amount to a justifiable reason. Now, the in-car video evidence that they are pointing out would have included the fact that he come up to a right-hander. He clearly steered right hand, and the
Oh, yeah.
car went straight on, and he's going slow at this point. It's not like he's just understeered it. He's like
Oh, no, I
full on
completely agree.
crank trying to get it, and the car's just going,
Oh, yeah.
"Nah." And they're going, yeah, no justifiable reason.
I know. That baffled my brain.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
here's the way I'm thinking about this, right?
Go on.
That to me is more than a justifiable reason. That's not a penalty. Driving a car in an unsafe manner,
Yeah.
i.e., with mechanical failure and cannot steer,
Yeah.
is a completely separate penalty.
Yeah.
And that's what
Completely.
he should have been penalised for. Once he realised it can't
Yes.
turn right, it should have been, I'm going to pull this over.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly the same as what happened with Hamilton last year when his brakes completely failed and blew out the side of the wheel. He
Mm.
should have. That is driving in an unsafe manner without a shadow of a doubt. And they're looking at it like, well, you went over track limits.
Yeah.
Track limits is not the issue we should be talking about. It's not.
The other laughable thing about this, if you read down, we
Yeah.
also considered whether there was an additional breach and continuing to drive a car with an obvious and discernible mechanical issue.
Yeah.
We determined there was no evidence of there being an obvious, discernible mechanical issue. Right. So I'm going to do my best impression of the stewards reviewing this whole thing. Right. We're just going to... They were clearly there with their hands in front of their eyes going, well, no, I don't see it.
Do you know why they've done that? It's purely and simply because the last lap of that race was one of the most exciting. That's why. That's exactly why they're not punishing it. Because otherwise, they'll now say, anytime anything happens like that, you've got to pull over at the side of the track. And so the end of that race would have been underneath the safety car. And forever and a day, if somebody has a little smack like that and damages the steering or whatever, they'll just stop at the side of the track. There'll be no excitement. Even if it's mid-race, it's that one little tiny piece of excitement in what has been quite boring races. That's the problem.
Yeah, in light of everything that's been happening during the off week with Stefano Dominicelli and all the interviews and that, it just feels like we're being gaslighted from every part of the FIA at the moment.
I completely agree.
No, he had no damage. He couldn't turn right, but that's not damage. No, that's not damage. The car was not sufficiently damaged enough for it to be unsafe. No, because he could obviously turn left. What is this, NASCAR?
Oh yeah.
Just that one made me chuckle, and also seethe a little bit. Competitors are reminded though that they do have the right to appeal. So, the next one was Max. Right, this is the one.
Yes.
From lap 7 or 8, I can't remember which one it was. Crossed the white line at pit exit. 5-second time penalty imposed after the race, which put him in. Well, he stayed in 5th anyway, didn't he? So, when the incident occurred, there was limited video evidence to make clear a decision on whether an infringement had occurred. We therefore.
So how did they have it after the race?
We decided to wait till after the race to see if we could get a better video evidence of the incident in the meantime. Perhaps from other angles, we were able to do so. So, how did the stewards not have access to every camera angle?
Who knows?
The new angles did show more views of the pit exit. The driver of car 3 explained that he was driving out of the pit exit and rejoined the race under full course yellow. Now, we said this whilst we were watching. What's Max going to say when he goes in there? Did you cross the line? No, of course not. You're going to stand there and go, yeah, I did.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no point listening to the driver there.
Nope.
Because even if he doesn't think he crossed the line with the front tyre, he can still cross it with the rear tyre, which is what happened here. Was it actually... the stewards determined the outside. Oh, it was the left-hand front tire. Sorry, my bad. They'd cross the outside of the solid white pit on exit. Now, there are so many cameras around turns 1 and 2.
Yeah.
There's even one at the pit exit. I'm pretty sure that we've seen angles from.
Yeah.
It worries me that they're saying that they don't have access to enough video angles to determine whether or not an infringement's taken place.
It's just a lie. They just couldn't be bothered. I'm sorry. The stewards in this race, just please don't ever hire them again. It's clearly pathetic. They were obviously playing solitaire and not watching this race. It was pathetic. We could have made these decisions the same lap they happened.
Yeah.
If the thing is, as we've said so many times, a lot of these are just an absolute slam dunk. Speed in the pit lane, slam dunk, job done. We know you sped. You're getting a penalty for it. If they know he's crossed the white line, they must have seen it in some footage to even put it under investigation. So it's already done. Give him the 5 seconds. It should not take you 50 laps to find out that evidence. It's pathetic. No. Moving on.
Yeah,
that's annoying me.
There's 2 more. So this was the Max and George Russell one. Now
you did say about
this one was just a nothing burger. Both of them are like, all the telemetry, everything, no further action. It does say both drivers considered this incident to be a minor racing incident, and we agreed. What I didn't say when we were talking about the racers, I was surprised that we didn't hear George over the radio, because that's usually something he'd be
Oh yeah.
swinging on the
Oh yeah.
radio button for. But yeah, that was like a whole nothing thing. The next one, though, I
Yeah.
do believe George got away with. And this was the
Which,
turn 17 content with Charles Leclerc.
oh, without a doubt.
Um,
Oh yeah.
Now it was referred for moving under braking.
Yes.
And when you watch the overhead, he
Yeah.
clearly kind of goes to the left under braking, and that's when there's a bit of contact with you. And you know what it made me think of?
What?
Max Lando, Austria. Going up to turn 2. Max did move to the left under braking. Hit Lando. Penalty to Max. Fair play. It happened. He did move under the braking. Whether you think you're going in a straight line, if your car's kind of easing off towards the other car under braking, you've moved.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. You looked at overhead. We looked at it, went, yeah, that's a slam dunk.
Yeah, but having said that, I completely agree. It's a very similar scenario. But Russell did not glide over under braking. He got past Leclerc, started to brake, and then jerked to the left. It was a clear and intentional move, and you could see it in that replay. And what we found was astonishing was we were watching it on Sky Sports F1, and they were showing so many different scenarios, and the commentators were going, "Oh, he's not moved under braking there. Nope, not there either." And then you saw it with Leclerc, and they just went, "Nope, looks fine to me." And you're like, "Oh, give over."
Yeah, it
Really?
felt like a bit of that British bias
Oh,
on
any
Sky.
day of the week.
But I think what helped George get away with this is both drivers consider the contact to be minor racing incidents. I think Leclerc's just gone, yeah, it's just one of those things where I'd have been like, no, he moved across me, under braking. Like,
I think that's look, I'm sorry, but the same way they should not be asking Max if he crossed the line on the pit exit, because of course he's going to say no, he didn't. They should not be asking George, did you move under braking? They should be looking at the footage and going, I can see that you did.
I can see the
It doesn't matter
telemetry.
what Leclerc thinks of it. It doesn't matter what Russell thinks of it. We could see from the replay, why are you asking the driver's opinion?
Mm,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
If it's something that is physically visible, so obviously, why?
yeah.
What's it matter what the
I think
two
that's it.
drivers think?
I think that's the thing with it a lot. They have access to the cameras. They have access to the
Yeah,
telemetry. If they want a statement from the team, by all means, ask for a statement from the team. But that's just to fill the paperwork, in my opinion.
yeah,
It
yeah, yeah,
it should be, as you say. There's the footage. There's the telemetry. This is our ruling.
yeah.
Both drivers might see it as a racing incident, but
Oh yeah, of
it's kind of besides the point. Yeah, some incidents are going to be racing incidents, but
course.
if you're moving under braking, which he clearly
Yeah,
did, that's a big no-no. That's where people can get hurt. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it was a relatively
yeah,
slow corner, but you let the little things go,
of course.
you end up with bigger problems down the line. I think that was the one that surprised me most. That when it come back, it was like, yeah, there's nothing to see here. You're like, yeah. And these were all the ones that came out after the race.
Yeah,
Now that one happened towards the end. That's fine. The Max one happened lap 7 or 8. Max and
yeah.
George happened 6 or 7 laps before the end of the race.
Oh yeah,
You could say, well, you could look at that straight away and go, well, there was nothing happening there. Lawson Gasly
oh yeah,
happened on lap 7 or lap 4, sorry. Yeah, both of
yeah,
those are out the race, so there's no thing. But my issue here, and I think you agree with me here, is it's not really like, are both the cars out the race, or
yeah,
we haven't. It's we don't even know where anyone's finished.
Yeah, that's the problem.
After an hour and a half, an hour and 45
Yeah,
minutes of racing, we're kind of like, we'll get the final order in 2 hours, 3 hours.
yeah, yeah,
I'll go to bed and I'll wake up tomorrow and find out who actually won or who got on the
yeah.
podium or
That's exactly it.
and there's no other
Yeah,
sport I know that's like that.
no,
Um, as you said many a time, you can completely understand if it's 2 laps, 3 laps towards the end, and they're like, "Oh,
of
we'll
course,
look at that because
of
we've
course.
got to pull the footage." But
Yeah,
not with 30 laps left, not with 10 laps left,
no, no.
not with 50
But
laps left.
the thing is, I understood it completely with the Leclerc thing. The damage was right at the end of the race.
mm,
Fair enough, no problem. I get it. But if you tried that in any other sport, so say if you went to the, I don't know, FA Cup trophy final, whatever on earth people call it, and then you go to the pub with all the rest of your fans and you celebrate because you've won, and then all of a sudden you see it pop up on Facebook the next day and they go, oh, well, actually, those 4 times that those fellas dived and had to get a magic sponge and all that, well, actually, that was all faked. So we've disallowed this, that, and the other. You never won that championship, actually. Do you know what I mean? You're like,
mm,
what? Ooh, hey, what? What
yeah.
happened there?
All the
You,
VAR incidents are going to be reviewed after the game.
yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, everything in football's fake anyway when they fall. But, you just think, you cannot do this. If it's within, I'd say if it's within the last 5, maybe 10 laps of the race, okay, maybe it takes a little bit longer to do. Fine. If something's happening, I'm sorry, on lap 4, 5, 6, 7, you cannot say it has to be investigated after the
Mm,
race. You can't. It's pathetic. The only reason I can see the crash taking longer to investigate, maybe, and I'm giving them the
mm,
benefits of the doubt, is if Racing Bulls have contacted the stewards and say, hold on, it looks like we've had a mechanical failure. You're going to have to give us time to get the data and get back to you. And they've
yeah.
gone, all right, under investigation. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's happened. Or maybe the stewards just couldn't be bothered. And
Mm,
so Racing Bulls have gone afterwards and said, oh, by the way,
yeah.
I don't know.
I think if both cars are out the race,
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay. You know, there's been
Yeah. Yeah.
contact between those two cars. There might be
Yeah.
some investigation as to understand why. I can kind of get with that. It's when like one car's taken out or someone's got past and then
Yes.
is down the road
Yeah.
by 20 seconds by the time the stewards go, oh, by the way, you should have been
Yeah.
penalised for that.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's coming back like to the steward team. Like one, I think we said, but we need a set of regular stewards.
Yeah.
But also it can be a substantial team. You
Yes.
know,
Of course.
you you could hire 10 stewards, pay them $250,000 a year each to go around the world, and it's only 2.5 million
Yeah.
coming out of the budget that's generating hundreds and
Mhm.
hundreds and hundreds of millions for like Liberty Media and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So you'd have enough people to go, right, you need to investigate lap 7.
Yeah.
Okay, that's come up. Right, you can investigate lap 12. Oh, you finished with lap 7.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. There's been an incident on lap 32. Look at that.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed.
you know, you having a sizable team
Yeah.
shouldn't be a problem in the pinnacle of motorsport that generates millions and millions and millions for its owners.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
and we wouldn't have all of this. It's taken us 2.5 hours to get to the end of stuff.
No. No.
Um, after the race is finished. Because it just puts a bit of a dampener. Even if you have a great race, when you have like these incidents, you're like, well okay, well, we just got to wait for the dust to settle.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
But, all in all, it was a good weekend of racing.
Mm.
I enjoyed it. Just a few frustrating moments, but that's
Yeah.
okay. We can live with that.
Yeah. I think you're right. The tweaks to the battery are a step in the
Yeah.
right direction. More work needs to be done, but
Yes.
definitely a step in the right direction. Definitely.
But I do think that brings us to a close
It does.
for the episode, bud. I do, yes.
Mm.
But yeah, as usual, I mean, we'd obviously like to thank everyone who does join in, comment, like, subscribe, all that malarkey that goes with it. But we do genuinely enjoy doing this podcast together.
Yeah.
And so any of the support people show, we do really appreciate. And we hope to continue making it for you if you would like.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah.
Well, we got a race in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, but we should not leave it 3 weeks before the
No,
next
no.
podcast. We're
We'll
not going
be
to be doing that. No.
we'll be back with the news next week.
Yes.
We're not going to have another weird hiatus, forced hiatus mid season. We'll be back with whatever news, whether we're here for 20 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. We'll be chatting all the latest in the paddock. But yeah, until next time. Thanks for listening. Take care.